Hey, honey, what time is it?
About 12. Why?
That Lou Coppola thing is coming on.
Are you going to watch it?
Well, we did see him at Fort Myer Officers Club and Bowling Officers Club for decades when we went over there for dinner.
Yeah, he was great. The strings were great, too.
I can't get over how many people he knew, the important people he played for, and how popular he was. Can you believe it? He did it all by playing the accordion.
Yeah, true. How funny is that? Shh. Party time. Woohoo!
Hello, my name is Stephanie Myers, and I am a card-carrying member of the Lou Coppola fan club. Today would have been Lou's 83rd birthday, so we thought we'd spend a little time together, getting to know him a little more, definitely to celebrate him, and to have fun with him, and to honor him. This film was made for you and on behalf of you, his family, friends, colleagues, and his audience. All of you who have loved and admired Lou and carried that in your hearts for so long. Now, let's get this party started.
Your party with you. Come on now. Celebration. Let's all celebrate and have a good time. Celebration. We gon' celebrate and have a good time. It's time to come to
Lou Coppola was one of the most accomplished, successful, and famous accordion players in the world. And as we all know, those traits do not always go together, but for Lou they did. My name is Frank Hudson. I was the officer in charge of the United States Air Force Strings, the Strolling Strings and String Orchestra from 1980 to 1983. Lou always seemed to me to be about 34 years old. Year after year, he was creepy. He had a live-wire personality that was combined with intelligence and street smarts. I worked with Lou for only about 3 years. Naturally, one of the first things that I learned from him was the amazing versatility of the accordion and some of the difficulties of writing for it. Ever since then, I have maintained a healthy respect for the instrument and those who play it. Under Lou's leadership, the Strolling Strings played at many different prestigious venues. The Pittsburgh International Airport, Reagan National Airport, and the Rotunda of the U.S. Capitol. Lou was a Washington favorite. He performed for 9 sitting presidents at the White House. There is an iconic photo that shows John F. Kennedy and his wife Jacqueline with Lou performing.
After dinner, the guests would follow the president through 2 lines of violins flanking the red carpet to go into the glittering gold East Room for the evening's entertainment. After one state dinner, after all the guests had gone home, an amazing thing happened. Lou was invited to come up to the family quarters to play the Mendelssohn Violin Concerto, 3rd movement, with Isaac Stern and Leonard Bernstein. Fortunately, he knew the piece by heart and kept up very well, which is amazing, and the picture was taken by that inquiring photographer, Jacqueline Bouvier Kennedy.
One of the most memorable trips we made was to California to appear on the Mike Douglas Show, where the guests, in addition to the strings, were Steve Lawrence and Don Rickles. Lou was no shrinking violet. He held his own. Lou enjoyed humor just as much as he enjoyed music. At one celebration, he was given a crown for his birthday, and we couldn't get him to take it off.
Hi, I'm Ralph Cass. I had the pleasure and great privilege of working with Lou for most of my Air Force career. The loss of his presence in our lives is something we all keenly feel, and we will all the rest of our lives. He was such a perfectionist. He would say to us, on a job, "Smile, look happy, make the people think you're enjoying it as much as they are." He wanted every performance to be something wonderful, something the audience could cherish and keep with them as they came home, a warm memory. That's how involved he was with wanting every performance to be right. And he wasn't a harsh taskmaster or anything like that. He did this as a way of making everything better. I cannot possibly express the love and respect I had for Lou. He was a real mentor to me, and he gave me the benefit of his wisdom and his experience as I attempted to fill his very big shoes as the NCOIC of the Air Force Strings later. He was many things to all of us: an impeccable musician, father, brother, friend, partner, and so many other things. He had such a store of grace that was able to carry him through all parts of his life. Over the years performing with Lou, and I wrote him this one time, you get accustomed to his perfection as a performer. And all the countless performances played with him all around the world, at the White House, the State Department, for unnamed ambassadors, everyone. That's how accomplished he was, what a great musician he was. You just know, you don't have to think about his performance. It was just effortless for him. And to have the privilege of having sat next to him for so many performances over the years, it's something I'll never forget and I'll always cherish.
Lou always maintained a full schedule of students in his teaching studio, and on top of that, he put in 44 years at Fort Myer, 26 years at the Bowling Officers Club, 15 years playing brunch at the Springfield Hilton, 3 years at the Kennedy Center, and 8 years at the Gaylord. He had the energy of the famous Energizer Bunny.
Lou Coppla was the first person to win the national championship in accordion 4 times in a row. He took the first trophy at the tender age of 15. After his 4th win, he won the right to attend the Coupe Mondiale, a famous international competition of classical accordion music. He was the first American to do so. At the age of 18, he went to Brighton, England, to compete against the best in the world. There were 9 judges and 27 entrants at the Coupe. While he didn't win, he delivered a performance true to his artistry. The Swedish judge was particularly enamored, referring to Lou as that fantastically talented American Coppla who played the accordion as it should be played. He said the audience must have agreed because Lou received a longer and louder applause than any other contestant.
A crowning achievement in Lou's career was being presented with a special award, a Lifetime Achievement Award, by the American Accordionists Association. Lou was so excited to see his name on the same plaque with the revered accordionists of the past that he had so much admired.
I know I wouldn't be standing here this evening if it weren't for the AAA opening the door for me so many years ago. Well done, AAA. 80 years of excellence. You set the bar high, and for 8 decades, you dedicated yourselves for the advancement of the accordion. For that, you have my utmost respect. Finally, I can't leave without saying that I consider each of you to be my friend. But most important, I am blessed and honored that you call me your friend. Thanks for listening. Good night, and God bless us, everyone.
One of Lou's favorite pieces was one that was especially appropriate for this occasion. Samuel Barber's Adagio for Strings was originally written as the slow movement of his string quartet. In a famous radio broadcast in 1938, the piece was played in an arrangement for string orchestra conducted by Arturo Toscanini. This made Samuel Barber famous overnight. The Adagio has become the unofficial music of mourning for this country. It was played for the radio broadcast announcing the death of Franklin Roosevelt and John F. Kennedy. It has a simplicity and power that are really unsurpassed. It was one of Lou's favorites.
Lou and I collaborated on the show Salute to Broadway for over 2 years. All that work, and it took just 10 minutes to sell out. We ultimately performed it 26 times, and every time, everybody had a ball.
The Atlanta Organizing Committee for the Olympics heard the stereo strings in Washington, D.C. and picked them up to be their lucky charm as they tried to win approval to host the Olympics. Over the next 7 years, the organizing committee sent the strings to Seoul, Tokyo, and Barcelona.
One member of our group, Jim Queen, always kept us laughing. He did a number of parodies for various people. He did 5 for Lou Coppla. We invited him to do one more for Lou. We hope you enjoy it.
Let me tell you a story of a man named Lou from Bridgeport, Connecticut, where in June they wear white shoes. He became a virtuoso with a repertoire quite varied, and he did all this on an organ you can carry. Accordion, that is, squeeze box, belly Baldwin, stomach Steinway, fizz harmonica. Well, the first thing you know, old Lou was playing good. He had a great teacher, and he practiced like he should. In international contests, he gained notoriety. Then he won a big audition for the best job in D.C. Accordionist with the U.S. Air Force strolling strings, that is. Glamorous job. Luxurious accommodations. Dating back to World War II. A Connecticut Yankee in the court of Camelot. A gig for President Kennedy. The White House was the spot. In the presidential residence, trying not to wake young John, Lou and Isaac Stern showed him how to get it on. Mendelssohn Violin Concerto, that is, the fast movement. And on the piano, Leonard Bernstein. Before long, he became the boss of the Air Force strolling strings. He taught the gig his music and a lot of other things. It's eye contact, what you wear, your charm, and your style. And a major skill in all this is just learning how to smile. Show them pearly whites. People hear with their eyes. He made the rank of chief, became one of the high rollers. He wrote a highbrow paper that was titled Tips for Strollers. He emphasized the importance to pay all the musicians. Oh, whoops, my bad. It was wear a toupee if your hair is going missing. AWOL, that is. Thinning. I'll do all the thinning around here, 'cause he kept all his hair somehow. From presidents and heads of state, he played in many nations, peace talks in the Middle East, and all sorts of celebrations. For Tony Orlando, he played Tie a Yellow Ribbon, and Maria Montrap gave him a kiss right there in the living room, that is, of General Jones, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. He took his smarts and made a splash out in the civilian sector. In a concert or dinner gig, he was a fine director. Playing Atlanta's Olympic song from Spain to Tokyo to convince the Olympic Committee it's to Atlanta they should go. Host city, that is, and they did too. Well, now you've heard my story of my good friend Lou Coppla. A mensch, a teacher, player, and of course, always a stroller. The impact of the things you've done still rings in many hearts. If there's any way to change the world, you've made a real good start. The power of music, that is, and showing you care. We love you, Lou.
Lou would be the first to tell you that no matter how many awards he won and how many great venues he performed in, the most important thing to him was his family.
Well, Lou, it's time. Your friends and your son John want to play Happy Birthday to you.
Happy birthday, Lou. We love you.
Well, we've given a lot of thought, Lou, and we're trying to figure out where we could best memorialize you for the end of time. Among the presidents chiseled into the mountain, there you are.